On the old YouTube, talking about sports for me and you. Roope and Rumsey is their name. Chat about things from the latest game. Roope and Rumsey, oh Roope and Rumsey. It's time for Roope and Rumsey.
All right. Well, welcome to a special edition of the R&R Show. I'm your host, Michael Roope. This is my co-host, William Rumsey. Hello, William.
Howdy.
All right, and we have our technically our first guest, other than my son, a special guest and a great friend of the R&R Show's athletic director, Mr. Ryan Walston. Hello, Ryan.
Hello. I got to tell you guys, I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan. I've seen every episode. And, of course, Mike told me you guys bumped Tom Brady to bring me in.
We did.
That's
actually, hey, we didn't even plan that.
That's absolutely right. Well, hey, listen, again, we appreciate you coming on. We've got some exciting news in Night Country, with the new hire of a basketball coach. And who is that, Ryan?
Well, last night we had our school board vote, and after an extensive search with a really deep candidate pool of talent and number, we found the best guy, and he's from Illinois, and his name's Matthew Colston.
All right. Well, welcome aboard, Matt. Hey, listen, that's exciting news. I know for Night Country, I know that they are itching for, to keep building upon, what the last coach had, brought forth. Now, if you don't mind me asking, how many, did you interview a lot of candidates or?
We did. We brought in a number of people and brought even more, or not more, but we brought some of them back for an additional interview. And actually, like the pool was so deep that I know a handful of them guys that didn't go their way at South Dearborn ended up getting head coaching positions. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that was a deep pool.
Yeah.
So the process, obviously, with what's going on in the world, COVID-19, how did the process change? Was it all Zoom or what have you? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, one thing, I built a committee of 7 people. And it was a variety of people. We had a parent on there, school board members, another coach, administration. And we did bring in the candidates, though, and interviewed them one at a time. There were 7 of us, and then one of them, we were in a big enough room we could practice social distancing. So we did bring him in.
Okay, good.
So tell me a little bit what drew you to him, that made him stand out a little further than... further apart than these other candidates.
Well, one, he has a nice resume.
Yep.
He's been successful where he's landed. He's been in coaching for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he has 11 years of head coaching experience for a place called Bushnell and 6 at Hoopston. And he went to both of those schools, took over fledgling programs and turned them around. So, I expect we're already trending up. We just need somebody to keep pushing us further, and Matt's going to be the guy to do that.
I thought I saw something he had. I don't think it was his last stop. The last 2 stops prior to that, he had state-ranked teams.
He did.
That's pretty dang good.
Yeah, at Bushnell and Houston, he got his team to state ranking.
Now, Illinois basketball is probably not as good as Indiana.
I bet that's part of the draw for him is, the Hoosier State is traditionally a basketball state, in other words. So I'm sure that was part of the draw to come down here. But the stop before, obviously, you hiring him, he actually was drawn down here. What was his previous head coaching job?
Well, he's coming straight from Illinois.
He is?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he was familiar with the area. they had vacationed down here in the Cincinnati area
Okay.
for a number of years. Been to the aquarium,
Okay.
Reds games, and they really liked the area. And he was a member of the Indiana Coaches Association, even though he wasn't coaching there, just so he could keep an eye on things and saw our job posting.
Oh, very
And
nice.
that's how he come about it.
Absolutely. Well, I know that I read up a little bit on him, and I saw that he had a few 20-win seasons, which is obviously what you definitely want to strive for. And like you had mentioned, that that Hoopston team, he got them to a traditional power, and I think he had left in a 5-year. He had 5 consecutive winning seasons in a 5-year period. He had 95 wins, which is big time.
Right, yeah. And they, of course, when you get that many wins, you win championships too, and they did that conference tournament and their state.
And that's the ultimate goal for Night Nation is to win those big games.
Absolutely. We want to be championship caliber.
So, does he have, do you know anything about his offensive philosophy, defensive philosophy? Does he pattern himself out of any coaches currently out there that we might know about?
Well, another thing that I like about him, I'm sure he patterns himself after his dad. His dad
Very cool.
is in Illinois' Hall of Fame for coaching
Oh,
basketball.
okay.
Man.
So he
Has the bloodlines.
Yep, pedigree, and he's ate up with it too. If you talk to him, he's a basketball junkie, and
That's cool.
And that's what I read, that he was a big time basketball junkie, and a few of the other articles I read, he's real hard nosed, and I think that's going to gel well with the South Dearborn community, because one thing that I always knew, being a Trojan playing South Dearborn, you guys are always hard nosed, gritty, grindy, and I think that's kind of what he wants to embody as far as getting his teams to play hard, and I'm excited for Night Nation.
So you're a Trojan. Are we going to talk about this shirt? That
Well, listen, hey, I may be a Trojan and I'm going to be at heart, but Night Nation is definitely a team away that I've always loved, and we've been good friends for how long, buddy?
92.
Yeah, 92. I think.
Yeah, we actually shouldn't say that, but
92.
Well, listen, I think we actually met at a fashion show. That's
We
how
did.
we become best friends. And then, obviously, I had the superintendent, Eric Lewis, was my roommate up at Ball State. So definitely good ties with the night program, and excited about this coach. Now, SD is what are they in basketball?
we're a 3A basketball school.
Now, I think you're a 4A football. Now, what's the difference in the 3A to 4A from basketball to football?
Well, just football has more classes. So, and basketball, of course, only has 4. But, we're in the middle of the pack in basketball. Football, and I know we're predominantly talking basketball here, but that's a couple of years we could be 3A, right? Right.
Yeah.
The last time we aligned, there were 64 4A schools based on school size, and we was number 62. So
Okay, so
we're
you're
at the
almost
bottom.
right there. So, I mean, what are you guys roughly? I think I read somewhere where it's like around 750 students, maybe?
Yeah, I reported.
Give or take?
Yeah, give or take. I reported 763 to start the year.
Okay, all right. So you guys are right there on the cusp of possibly in football dropping down. Now, where's the cutting point in basketball? Is there a...
It won't be. We won't impact that.
You won't?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
great. Well, I know you guys have a rich tradition in basketball, 6 sectional titles, and I actually believe one of those sectional titles, your athletic director, Night Nation, might have been on. Is that correct?
I was. And I can tell you, I cheered us from the bench right to the
Now, did you play for Coach Moorhead or Coach Shannon?
Shannon. Yeah.
Okay. Now, who was on that 92-93 team? I believe, Superintendent Eric Lowe's was on there.
He was.
Was Derek Poole on there?
Derek Poole was on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark Morse.
Mark?
Gosh,
Joe
put me
Jackson?
on the spot. Joe was on there. Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Man.
my night knowledge. Huh?
Yeah.
Did you get on the website?
We had some younger guys too. I can't remember if they was in a mix, but they were certainly standouts when they got Andy Finnegan, AJ Gray.
Did they bring you in for the instant offense?
Usually
Romeo Langford and then Ryan Walston for Coach Shannon.
Yeah.
Well, listen, and I know you guys also have 5 conference titles, and I believe was you a part of that last conference title team?
I was in high school at the time.
Was you a freshman?
The last 2 conference titles we had, I was in high school, but I certainly wasn't on the varsity at that time.
Okay.
But Eric and Mark certainly were.
We're on there? Okay. Now tell me a little bit about the team that's Matt's inheriting. Is what do we got coming? What do we have left in the cupboard for Matt to work with?
Well, the cupboard's full. I feel real good about what's in the cupboard.
Good.
We've been trending the right way. The last 3 years, we've increased our win total every year, and of course, this year we played in a sectional championship game.
Yep.
A lot of credit goes to those 4 seniors we had this year. They were all 4-year guys.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Shackelford, who was our leading scorer, averaged a little over 17 a game, and Mitch Manford provided us some depth and minutes down low, and Tristan Daly, a defensive-minded guy, and can knock down some shots, and then Marcus Robb really was a defensive stopper for us often on the other teams.
Now, were those seniors? They are graduated, right?
They will be graduating here. Yes.
Okay, they will be. I'm sorry. They will be, and I'm glad that Speaking of graduation, I know there's a lot of your seniors that didn't get their final year in said sports. Maybe we'll switch gears back to that. Here, because I do want to make sure we give them a shout out. Because definitely it's got to be a tough road to hoe not being able to get your senior year in. I know for all of us, I mean everybody, their senior year is definitely typically the pinnacle for most kids that don't get to go on to college. That's their time. So we'll talk about that here in a second. Now as far as returning guys for next year, Can you give me a couple players that Matt's going to get a lean on early?
Yeah. Well, we had 6 guys on the team this year that played in all 25 games, and 4 of those guys are going to be back. 2 of them will be seniors, Quentin Stevens and Toby Tiki, and then we'll have 2 of them will be juniors, Eli Hoffman, who scored right behind Shackford, scored about 17 a game himself.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And Reese Willoughby. Reese put in just under 10 a game, and those guys were just sophomores this season and were a big factor. So
they're going to get to grow a little bit with Matt. So
very cool.
A couple other things. Now, I didn't look at the roster. I know you sent it to me. What kind of height do we have on this team?
We're actually lacking in height. I'm hoping to get a 6'6" move in next year.
Well, listen, that I thought there was what is there not is there? I thought there was some. I came to a night game last year. I thought I saw somebody tall, and I'm not sure. Is that
we got some? I mean, we got some decent length. Reese will be the sophomore next year. Juniors probably our biggest kid, and.
Is there a Tanner Hughes on there?
Tanner Hughes, yep. Tanner's going to be a senior next year.
He looked like he had some length.
He does. He's real lanky, and he played some varsity this year as well and won the tough man belt, I know, one time. And
oh, wow.
And I know if Tanner watches this, he'd be mad if I didn't mention he actually flushed one in a game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
So,
listen, anytime, that was always kind of a highlight for any high school kid that if they were able to dunk, that was a pretty special moment for most gymnasiums.
Back in my day, I remember the one dunk by one Corey Kirkpatrick.
Oh yeah,
the crowd went nuts.
I
was right under the basket in the student section. I was like, oh, it was.
I was actually at that game. It was against my beloved Trojans.
You were there?
I was there actually.
Wow.
Yes, I actually was there. See, I come to Night Nation.
Yeah, no,
even
that's good
as
stuff.
a younger guy. But now your guys' record last year, I believe, was 11-14.
It was.
And as you had mentioned, sectional runner-up. So I mean, there's a lot to build on. And who was the coaches now the coach that is now being replaced? What was his name?
Kevin Reinhardt.
Okay, Kevin Reinhardt. So he's got that program right there, and I think Matt is definitely got a lot to work with, and he just needs that little extra to get the Knights bringing home some titles. So I'm excited about that.
I just have a personal question about Coach Colston. So I saw he used to be a social studies teacher, history teacher. What kind of role in teaching is he going to take? And do you have any kind of just personal stories that you can share about that?
Well, one, he's licensed in a few different things, and actually he was even an athletic director for a year or two.
I did see that.
Yeah. Well, hey, I want to say this too before it gets away from me. Coach Colston actually was got another athletic director position in Illinois, but turned it down to come to South Dearborn. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously the draw and the allure of what South Dearborn has to offer was pretty substantial for him to turn out a great position as you well know.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And I have also wanted to kind of bring this up. I know, and I don't know and you don't need to answer this if you don't want to. I know that there was a lot of positions that opened up, I believe, in this area at the same time. Do you know, or do you want to share? I mean, did he look at a bunch of different positions before he settled and wanted to be a part of the Night Nation, or if you don't mind?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't mind. Actually, it was a lot of people questioned or asked me about this because it's odd. The Rivertown Classic, it has Lawrenceburg, South Dearborn, Rising Sun, Switzerland County. Next year, all 4 schools will have different boys basketball coaches.
There were a lot of conspiracy theories floating around.
Right. Yeah, but I would expect. I never talked to Coach Colston or asked him about that directly, but typically these are competitive jobs, and there's a lot of people going for them and a lot of people with talent. So, typically a guy's going to put his hat in a few
ring.
schools.
Yeah.
Because ultimately these guys want to coach first and then land where they're at.
Yeah, and you don't want to basically pigeonhole yourself into going for a job that you may or may not get, not without putting your hat in the ring in several different arenas. So, well, listen, I know do you have anything else in regards to that? Well,
I do not.
I know we wanted to talk about the some of the seniors and other sports. So what do we got as far as that's concerned?
Well, you started to touch on it earlier. It's just it's unfortunate for not only South Dearborn but the whole country's 2020 class. I mean, this certainly isn't the way that anybody wants to go out, student, faculty, or parent or otherwise. And I heard for our kids, especially athletically too. Our girls softball team and boys baseball team are the defending sectional champs, and the baseball team is the defending conference champs. So, we didn't get a chance to defend those titles this year, and we expected to do it again. But it'll be up to the younger guys we'll get the opportunity to defend it next year, hopefully.
Well, absolutely. Definitely a shout out to all the Knight seniors, that had the fall sports that didn't get a chance, and then the spring sports, obviously. How many sports are missing out right now?
In the spring?
Yeah.
Well, we have track, tennis, and golf as well.
Track, tennis, and golf as well. So all you guys, a shout out to you guys. I know that it's got to be hard, but definitely. Now, are you guys having a graduation, or is it going to be a virtual deal, or what's the process right now? Do we know?
We actually bumped our graduation to July 10th.
Okay.
Because at this point, we're still committed to try to
And
have it in
absolutely,
person.
awesome.
you definitely want to. I think that's an awesome move by the SD administration. I mean, you definitely want those kids. They have their moment in the sun, so that's great. Well, Ryan, again, we appreciate One last question here. Do we know when Matt's scheduled? Has he been house hunting now, or
Yeah.
what's the deal here?
Yeah, he's actually already sourced a house in Aurora in our
Okay.
school district, and as of right now, should nothing change, all of Indiana is going to resume athletics. It may look a little different, but because we'll have some restrictions, but we're going to resume athletics July the 1st.
Did he already buy a house?
That's
Does he
exciting.
need a realtor?
My co-host
Always be closing.
Always,
ABC. Always be closing.
Well, again, we're excited to have him a part of Night Nation. Don't want to put you on the spot, but when Matt comes, can we get him on here with you for a little interview?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, I look forward to that. Again, welcome aboard, Matt, to Night Nation. Knights, get behind this coach. I know, we're all expecting some great things in the near future. So, again, Ryan, we appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Yep.
All
Thanks for
right.
having me, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.